I asked you guys to send me your best Wonderkids so I could do a video to rate them. And today is that video. But I'm not alone doing this today, I've got a guest with me. Welcome, Hood Gaming. Steve, how you doing?
All good, thanks man. Thank you very much for having me on the channel. Looking forward to reviewing some Wonderkids.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting, I think. We've got some great Wonderkids coming up, and we're going to be rating these guys out of 10. And we're going to start off with Tim Smith, which is maybe the most generic name that I've ever heard in Football Manager. But he's a winger on the right-hand side, currently 18 years old, contracted to Dulwich Hamlet, but valued very highly. What are you thinking?
That is a ridiculous value. I'd love to know what division these guys are in. I'm just looking. Oh, they are in the Premier League, so that does make sense. 5-star potential, obviously that's where all of the value is, you know. Cap for England under 21s, yeah, quite nice. There's a lot to like about this guy, and he's very, very fast.
Yeah, I noticed that immediately. The physicals are off the charts for an 18-year-old, and that's where he's going to be really dominating. I am maybe a little hesitant about some of the technicals. Now, crossing, dribbling are fine, but as you get a bit further down to first touch passing technique, that's where it throws me off just a little bit. Yeah,
he definitely needs a little bit of work. With that pace, he is just going to be a traditional right winger, you know, sort of use that pace to get beyond his man and cross the ball over. So I think in the attributes that he needs, he is okay for 18. I think he's pretty solid. But yeah, that pace is just like, even if you're bringing this guy on, you know, 65, 70 minutes, he is going to change games for you as a breakthrough prospect just because of that pace.
Yeah, so what are you going to rate this guy out of 10 then?
As I don't know what's coming next, I'm going to give this guy a conservative 5 out of 10, I think.
Okay. I'll go a little bit higher. I'll go 6.5 or so. But again, you know, what's coming up next could change our minds on how we rate things. So up next, we've got an Xbox player. We don't get many of those, but we've got Maxi Signorelli, and he is an Argentinian striker, 23 years old, so has developed a little bit. What are you thinking, Steve?
Wow. This guy is probably up there with one of the best strikers in the game, you'd have to imagine. You don't see 19 finishing on a striker very often, but when you do, you should be very petrified of it. That, with his good composure, his exception off the ball, and the pace, this guy's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, I look at the attributes here, and I can't really see a weakness in this guy at all. Now, I don't know if they have player traits on Xbox. We can't see any on here right now, but I presume he's going to have a couple of player traits on there that are going to really help him score some extra goals as well. But like, insane pace, insane technicals, insane everything. The only maybe slight I'd have on him is his work rate a little bit low at 13, positioning a little bit low at 13 as well. Maybe concentration a little bit low, but I'm nitpicking a little bit there. I kind of think you've got to give this guy a 10 out of 10 rating, haven't you?
Yeah, coupled with the fact that he's Paris FC, so I assume he's trying to overthrow PSG. This guy has to get a 10 from me.
Okay, so Steve doesn't actually know this, but this next Wonderkid is my Wonderkid from my stream save with Venezia, which you can watch on Twitch, by the way, link down to that one in the description. But I've not told him it's my Wonderkid, so I want to see how he rates them. Next up, we have Javi Company, who is a 20-year-old striker, currently playing for Venezia. What do you think of this guy?
I quite like him right off the bat. I mean, 2 caps, 2 goals for Spain, so you obviously know he's doing something right. Again, the finishing is really, really high. 17 finishing, again, is nothing to be sniffed at. Pretty nice physicals as well. I like his agility and balance. He's going to be able to go around the goalkeeper quite nicely. Off the ball, again, really, really high. Nice composure, so he's going to have the composure to actually go around the goalkeeper as well. Need to get some of those traits on him, but there is still plenty of time to do that, I would say. But a very, very nice player, and a shadow striker that I would be quite worried about.
Yeah, I think the finishing is just lethal, isn't it, really? And couple that with a great off the ball to sort of just float around that sort of attacking midfield, just waiting for the right opportunity to get in there, score some goals. But it's also got the vision and the passing to an extent to play the ball through to the striker as and when needed as well, if he's not quite in the right position to do so. Obviously no player traits just yet, but what player traits would you be looking to put on this player, do you reckon?
Gets into opposition area. I mean, obviously as a shadow striker, he's probably going to do that as well, but that one's probably the key one for me. Obviously, I did mention about rounding the goalkeeper, beating the offside trap. They're the sort of ones I would probably look at adding on to this guy. And, you know, he's coming out of the Castilla at Real Madrid, so you know he's going to be of a certain caliber just because of the club he's come from. So yeah, I really like this guy. He's already good on both feet as well, which is another added bonus.
What are you going to be giving him out of 10?
I actually really like this guy. The Shadow Striker's a key role that I run quite a lot. So if this guy was in my team, I think he'd be electric. So I'm actually giving him a 9 out of 10, I think.
Okay, I'll take that because I didn't tell you before, but this guy's actually my player.
Amazing.
And I was hoping you'd rate him highly. You know, if you gave him a 6, this video is ended. So I'm glad that you've rated him highly. For me, it's a 10, obviously. You know, I can't say anything other than my boy Javi Company. But I'm glad you like him. So next up, we've got a player from FM Mobile, which I've not played personally for a long time. So I can't quite remember how it all works properly on there in terms of player development. But this guy, Duncan Lippy, looks pretty solid for 18 years old. What do you think, Steve?
I mean, he's a rotation option, and he looks pretty good to me. Obviously I don't play FM Mobile either, but you know, the basics are gonna still be very similar. He's got 16 pace and 20 strength. That's ridiculous. I mean, I don't understand how he's a rotation option. I want to see the rest of the team.
Yeah, I want to see the rest of the team, unless it's just his contract that says rotation. And
maybe
he signed his contract a while ago, and it's got to. He's in 20. He signed his contract. It must have been a while ago because it expires in 2041. And it's currently 2036 in games, so he must have signed it like as soon as he joined the club on like a hugely long deal that just says rotation. But 15 caps, 15 goals for the US, 133 million pound value. Like, yeah, this guy's pretty good. This
is the guy that everyone or Pulisic guy on Twitch wants Christian Pulisic to be.
You're completely right with that, aren't you? And just like he's just such a quality striker.
Yeah, this guy should be the LeBron James of soccer, not Christian Pulisic.
I completely agree. The LeBron James of soccer, Duncan Lippy. What a name. So next up we have Carlos Gabriel, who currently plays for Vardar under-18s. He's Brazilian, 15 years old, fresh regen. You cannot get younger than this in the game, and you can't get better than this at 15 years old, I don't think. Look at this.
Yeah, there's so much to like, but I do have to say I'm sorry to whoever has submitted this to Tom, because I'm gonna have to mark you down for the fact that you're using blue for your player attributes. I just can't do that. Unfortunately. But looking at the attributes, yeah, as you're saying, fresh out of a youth intake, there's so much to like about this guy. The tackling is already elite, along with the technique as well, for someone so young. The mentals need a little bit of work, but again, he's 15. Obviously, he's still on trial, so he's not even signed a full-time contract just yet. Good on both feet. 5'9's not the end of the world for a defensive midfielder. I'd like him a little bit taller, ideally 6 foot. Good personality, fairly professional. Yeah, I think this guy could go a long way in this save.
I think he could do as well. I really like a lot of what I'm seeing on this player, particularly like the natural fitness of 16 and the vision of 13. Like, they're really high baseline attributes there, which I think will put him in good stead for the rest of the campaign. I'm not entirely sure if this is just a play he scouted out and found for his team, or actually plays for his team. But I feel like we have to put an asterisk next to this one, because I have just noticed the in-game editor pencil in the top right corner. I feel like, you know, you can never quite trust saves with the in-game editor enabled. So we'll give you the benefit of the doubt, but there will be a little asterisk on here. What are you rating this guy out of 10?
So it would have been a 6. However, because I think he's got a lot of potential, and obviously we all love a Brazilian wonderkid, don't we? But as I did mention, blue for the attribute colour, so you're going down to a 5, unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree. The blue really throws me off. It doesn't make sense in the colour scheme. Like, you've got green for the high ones, yellow for like the mid ones, red for the low ones. Where's blue coming in and fitting in with all of this? I agree. I'll go 5.5. Okay, next up is ADRIAN Frick, who plays for Newcastle as essentially a shadow striker, I would say, looking at all his attributes, to be fair. And he looks insane. What do you think?
I'm not going to lie, this is probably the best player that we've seen in this video. I don't think there's anything this guy can't do, to be perfectly honest with you. Playing at Newcastle, interesting. Obviously, Moneybags Newcastle, 22 years of age, loads of caps for Portugal already. The 20 balance is the massive standout for me. A guy who can stay on his feet and have that balance, coupled with the electric physicals that he does have, is this guy. As I said, I don't think there's anything this guy can't do.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to be really nitpicky, I wouldn't play him as a ball-winning midfielder. But, you know, that's the only slight on him, I think. I think I'm being very, very harsh there. For a shadow striker or attacking midfielder, like, he's got great distribution and vision, and you know, can play a perfect pass through to the striker, but can also be the striker with 15 finishing and 16 composure and 16 decisions, and you know, gets into the opposition area, and he's just a great striker. Obviously, I don't think you'd want him in the air too much with only 12 jumping reach, but he's got 16 headings. If he does get in the air and he does win the ball, it's on target. Like, I can't complain about this guy. He looks really good.
Yeah, I'm really intrigued to see what the game deems as his 3 cons from the coach summary, because this guy looks like a complete player for me. So I have to give him a 10. I have to give him a 10.
I'd like to give him a 10, but I'm also looking at his career stats, and I'm only seeing 9 goals and 35 appearances for Newcastle, which is maybe a bit harsh for me saying that, but I guess maybe he's not being played as the main goal scoring threat. Potentially, if we've got assists up there, assists would be way higher. So maybe a bit harsh on that. But again, I think it could well be a 10. Yeah. Even despite the lack of goals, he's probably more assisting, isn't he? So I'll put him as a 10. And finally, we have a player from Wrexham called IGES, who is Brazilian, and I love a Brazilian in Wrexham. I've had plenty of those in the past. And this guy is another striker, and I think for me, maybe he isn't quite as good as the previous guy.
Yeah,
what do you think?
Yeah, I tend to agree. I mean, as I've mentioned, the concentration attribute is a key one for me on strikers as well, because I like them to be a bit switched on and paying attention to the game. But again, these physicals coming out of some of these wonder kids are sort of elite tier. He's 6'6". He has the consistency trait. He also enjoys big matches. So there's a lot to like about this guy. And it looks like his goal scoring record's pretty darn good. Looking at a goal a game this season almost. 43 appearances, 39 goals and 9 assists. It's not a bad return.
Yeah, and his overall Wrexham career is 72 goals and 84 appearances. So, like, he must be on the near post of corners. That must be the way he's getting so many of these goals as well. But yeah, as an out-and-out striker, I don't think there's really much you can complain about there with the physicals, the finishing, the composure. Concentration just a little bit lower down for what you would like, but clearly, despite that, gets the results, as you can see on the goal scoring record.
Yeah, capped by Brazil as well. There's only one thing that I've just clocked that I would probably try and train out of this guy, which is come deep to get the ball. With those physicals, you just kind of want him as the advanced forward, just running on, basically. So that would be one thing I would train out of this guy, but he is an exceptional striker nonetheless. So I'm going to go for 9.5, I think.
I was literally about to say the same thing, 9.5. Can't give him a 10 because he wasn't quite as good as the previous guy, but I am a big fan of IGES, and I think if I had the choice to sign him, I probably would. Right, so they are your Wonder Kids rated by us. Let us know what you think down in the comment section below. Who is your favourite Wonder Kid from this video? And we've rated more Wonder Kids over on Steve's channel. Steve, where can people find your channel?
It's Hook Gaming UK on YouTube, also Twitter, TikTok if you're a youngster. I'm on there as well. Hook Gaming UK on all platforms.
Well, thank you very much for coming on. It was great to do this video with you, and great to chat with you, and great to talk Wonder Kids with you as well. But until next time, have a good one, everyone. See you soon. Goodbye.